Okay, if we're looking at number 2, if we're following our example in our handbook, what's the first thing we put?
Yeah.
Which authors?
Alphabetical order.
No, actually, you don't use alphabetical order, and that's a good...
Or is it the way it's listed on the book?
The way it's listed, yeah. The way that it's listed on the book, because there is generally a hierarchy of some sort. So just whoever's listed first. That's just safest if you just go that route. So we have John Talbot and James Wilson. So we're going to start with the first author, and we're going to put his last name first, comma, John, comma, and then we're going to put and then the other author's name with his first name first. And then at the end of that, we're going to have a period. So this is what yours should look like. And actually, I forgot something. Actually, the first thing that we should do is put the words works cited at the top of the page and centered. You guys need to catch me when I miss stuff like that. So centered at the top of the page. Works cited. And then we can go down to where we are. Okay, what's the next thing we need?
Title.
Right, the title of the book, and the title is,
Building a book.
and it is italicized, right? Because book titles are longer works. Longer works need to be italicized. So I'm thinking books, the titles of journals, newspapers, magazines, entire websites. Those are considered longer works. They need to be italicized. So, building a better tomorrow. And then at the end of that, we need a period. Spell it right.
This is a colon. Is it supposed?
That's in the title. It's in the title of the book.
Oh, okay.
If you look down at the top, well, I guess they both do, don't they? Yep, both
Oh, I
of them.
see. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's just in the book title. So, building a better tomorrow. What's the next piece of information that we need? Actually, the first thing is the city that it was published in. So in this case, it's published in New York. So we have that, and then we have a colon, and then we have the publishing company name. So in this case, we have Ignatius. And you can just put Ignatius if you want. You don't have to put Ignatius Price. And then what's next? We have a comma, and then we have the date. The date is 1981. And then we have a period, and then we have the word print. And word print is a new edition, I think around 2009 or so, that was added in there. That's to denote books that were, real books, not books that are online. That'd be the difference. So that's why they put that print on there.
Do you need a period after the date?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The periods kind of let you know when you're at the end of a section. So we have a period after our author section. We have a period after our title section. We have a period after the publishing section that has the city, the company, and the date. And then we have a period at the end right there. So yours should look something like that. And if we had more text here, we've gone down to the next line,
Indent.
you'd have to indent this.
And it's hard on
Yeah,
this
I don't even,
You can choose, you can go paragraph and then choose,
indents and spacing.
yes.
Well, I figured out how to
Yeah,
do
you
it.
can,
Special.
special, yes, indentation special,
Mhm.
with,
Right here.
this one hanging,
So hanging?
yes,
Okay. Fine, okay.
and that's okay.
All right. So go into paragraph. If you're in whatever version, what is this, 2007 or is this?
I think
It's
in
2007.
any word in
Yeah.
this paragraph name.
So
Also, I figured
paragraph,
out it-
hanging, and then, there you go. It used to be different.
It used to be
Yeah.
easy to
Used
do
to
what
be,
you needed
yeah.
to do. But now if
They had
you
the-
don't space between the words that are actually coming down, if you push tab, why, you know, in between the two words you want to put on the next line, it'll do it too. So
So,
you just backspace up
I'm just gonna
to
go
the.
ahead and figure all that out. So I hit the enter button and we're down to the next line. Okay, the next one on our handout is an article located on pages 43 through 50 titled Time to Get Real, published in a monthly magazine titled Atlantic Monthly. That was published in London on May 6th, 2003. So if we go back to page 390, and we go back to our chart here, is the source a book or part of a book? No. Is the source an article from a print that is paper periodical?
Yes.
Yep. So we're going to follow our yes arrow, and it says see examples 24 through 33. So looking at 24 through 33, what do you think would best describe what type of article we have here?
25.
25, we have a signed article in a monthly or bi-monthly periodical. Signed just means there's an author listed. Is there an author listed?
Oh, no.
No. So then we'd go to 26, which is unsigned. Unsigned article in a weekly or monthly periodical. So since we don't have an author, what do we start with?
The title.
The title, right. The title of the article, that is. So the article is a shorter work, so instead of it being italicized, we use quotation marks to denote the title. So we have Time to Get Real. And there's a period right before that last quotation mark. Then what piece of information do we need?
Name of the magazine.
Right, the name of the magazine that the article is in. So we have Atlantic Monthly, and we need it italicized because it's the actual magazine or journal title. So. And then at the end of that section, there's no period, but there is a date. So the date would be 6 May 2003. And then we have a colon, and then what?
Pages.
Pages that the article is located on, 43 through 50. And then there's a period after that, and then we have the word print again at the end of that, because it is a print article. So that one was pretty short for all the information that I gave on the handout. It's a pretty short citation there. So this is approximately what yours should look like. You have the title of the article first, in quotation marks. Then next you have the title of the magazine that it was found in, magazine or journal. Then you have the date that it was published, the pages that the article is on, and then you have the word print. And that's all the information you need for that one. Is everybody okay with that part? All right, we'll do just a couple more here.
Do we need our names on these or turn them in?
No.
Oh, okay.
This is just kind of a tutorial. Like I said, hopefully it's a review. But if you have questions, please, now is the time to ask. Not that you can't ask them later, but if you have questions, ask. Let's do the third one, because the third one is kind of complicated. There's some different stuff going on here. The third one says that it is a second edition of a book with 3,061 pages titled Absolutely Fabulous, edited by, and there's 4 different editors listed there, published by Harvard University Press, Cambridge, 1999. So, it is a book, obviously, but it is a second edition. And it doesn't have authors, it has editors. And there are 4 of them listed there. So here's what I would do. I would start off with, because you're going to have to look at actually 3 different ones here to kind of piece together all the information that you really need. Let's start off with number 3. Number 3 says a book by more than 3 authors. And yes, these are editors, but let's look at because there's more than 3 here, that's what I want to focus on. When you have 3 or more authors or editors, instead of listing all those names down, because you could have like 20, presumably. Just list the first one, and then put a comma and put et al. At the end of it. Et space al period. And that stands for all the rest. So instead of putting them all down there, you're just going to put the first one. So let's go ahead and do that. So the first one that we have listed is Laura Hilliard. So we're going to put Hilliard. Hilliard, comma, Laura. Then you put another comma and you're going to put A-L. And normally you would put a period there. But I'm going to put a comma and I'll show you why. Let's put this for now. Hilliard, comma, Laura, comma, et al, comma. Because they're editors and not authors, that's why I wanted you to put the comma there. Because if we look at number 10 has to do with an anthology or edited work. So if we have an editor, we're going to put ed if there's one, and we're going to put eds, which is short for editors, if there are more than one. If we have more than one, we're going to put eds period. So that just shows our audience that the people listed here are not the authors, they're the editors. And there are no authors listed. And then the next thing that we're going to look at is number 15. Number 15 says second or later edition. So, since our book is a second edition, and each edition is different, so you should treat it as a different book. I mean, you could potentially cite different editions of the same book on the same works cited page. But the way that we do that is we, within the title, and we italicize it because it's a book. So we're going to do absolutely fabulous. And then we're going to put a period, and then we're going to put second edition with just like the second ed, period. And then the rest of it we're going to do the same as we did for number 1. It's just the same as you're going to do for a regular book. The city that it was published in. In this case, we have Cambridge, Mass. Then we have colon. We have the press. It's Harvard University Press. I'm going to put Harvard UP for short. Comma, the date, which is 1999. Period, and then print. So this one, number 3, is probably about as complicated as you're going to get. Because for one, it's got 4 different people listed, and they're not authors, they're editors, and it's a second edition. So that's probably not going to get much more complicated than that. But if you do have, something like this, just realize you may have to look around through here to find all the different characteristics, all the different peculiarities within here. That's so let's keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and do 2 more of these. Let's do personal interview, which I'll give you a hint. It's way in the back. It's number 81. And there are different types of interviews. You can do a telephone interview, you can do a personal interview, which is face-to-face, and then you can do an email interview. You just have to note which kind it is. All you need for an interview is the person's name. So we'll go down to the next line. Last name first, and then here we have Sands Jennifer. And you don't have to put the doctor, DR thing in there. Just put last name, comma, first name. Put a period. Put the words personal interview. Period. And then just put the date that the interview took place. And that's the only 3 pieces of information that you need. You don't need the city, just the date. So we have 3 September. And that's it. So that one's really short. Do we have any questions on that one? And it is okay to use interviews as your sources. Just don't use them as all your sources, okay? So don't interview 6 of your friends and say, okay, there's my sources, all right? Please don't do that. But you can use personal interviews or email interviews or telephone interviews. So let's do one more. Let's do a website. Let's go down to the next to the last one. The next to the last one is an article titled Giving Credit Where Credit is Due, found on a website titled Extra Credit, found at www.extracredit.org on October 1st, 2004. So, and there's different different types of online sources that you can use in here. I think using number 50 would be sufficient. Number 50 is just a page from a website. So what you need there, if there was an author listed, you would put the author there, but there's not one, so we're going to start with the title. The title of our article is Giving Credit Where Credit is Due, so we're going to just put that in quotation marks. And there's a period right before that last closed quotation. Then you're going to put the title of the website, which is Extra Credit. And that's going to be italicized again. And period at the end of that, and then the date. And if you look at the first example on number 50, the one protecting whales from dangerous sonar, there's actually 2 dates there. And the first date, most likely, is the last revision date of the source itself, or the website. Last revision, last updated, last edited date. And then the second date is the date that you actually accessed it. Now, if there is no revision date, then just leave that part out. But you do need to put, at the very least, the date that you accessed it. So we accessed it on October 1st, 2004. So we're going to do 2 October 2004. And then we have a period. And I also want you, even though this example doesn't give it, if you go down to, let's just look at 53, at the very end of 53, there is the web address given. Give that as well. And use, if you look at the example, it's actually inside of less than and greater than signs. So you start off with the less than sign, and then you just put HTTP www.org. And then at the very end of that, you're going to put the greater than sign. So it's going to look like that.
Should we put a complete link or just the name of the website?
For this,
Yes.
you put whatever the web address is that the source is on. So, I mean, there may be a whole bunch of other stuff after here. Probably will be. Put all that. Just cut and paste it. It's the easiest way to do it. That way you get it all in there correctly. And then it looks like at the end of that, it turned blue. So that lets you know that did something right.
If you click backspace, it will return to
Yeah, it should take you right.
this. If you click backspace right now,
If you click backspace,
it will return.
turn back to the original.
Size, yes.
Right. Okay.
Do we have to have it turned back to the original?
No, it's fine like that.
Okay.
I don't care.
Okay.
So we've done 2 different books. We've done an article, or a journal article, personal interview, and a website.